what we're going to talk about now is actually the one of my favorite things, which is the Google Cemetery. Before we get into how Google can help you, right? And this kind of shows everything about how wonderful this whole journey of building apps and building things are, right? And so, for those of you who don't know, there are actually many websites on the Google Graveyard, but I love this site. It's called Failory. And Failory actually has, if we go back to the beginning, they have many graveyards. They have Startup Cemetery, Amazon Cemetery, Google Cemetery. And it's really great because it really gives you a perspective on how things get built and what works and what doesn't work. So Google Cemetery is fun because it talks about all the different products of why things happen, right? So you can actually see like all the different criteria, right? So you can actually see, okay, poor product was the reason why this one was there, right? And the fun thing about it is you think about Google and it's like there's so many great minds out there with Google, and how do they have so many failures, right? So it just shows you that failures are actually part of the process. Failures are, there's so many different reasons why you want to look at how things should be and like whether you should pivot from them and what should happen, right? So that you see there's many different causes of failure, right? If we look at the whole category, right? So there's acquisition flu, which is my favorite term, where they acquired all these different things and then hope that they would become something and they just never did. There's also bad business model, right? So Google one time tried to do TV ads. It was just terrible. They were not designed to be in that space. But sometimes it's, bad timing, right? And just not knowing how to be in there. Like right now, real time transit information would be a great thing in 2021. But 2018, it was a bad idea. So, you have to just be aware of, kind of like timing, be willing to look at what things are and are not happening around you. So a lot of this comes from the exact same things we've been talking about over these past 2 days, which is talking to people. So as we look at technology, we want to look at it with this lens of chatting with people and kind of seeing like what's available based on chatting with people. So you'll see that theme as we talk about the next 3 features that you can use to build your apps, right? So the first one we're going to talk about is actually Google Assistant. And with Google Assistant, actually, let me actually go back here. Oops. I think I have to reshare to do the video. But what we're going to talk about with Google Assistant is kind of all the basic features that were shared at I/O, and kind of how that plays into your app. So for those of you who are not super aware of what Google Assistant is, what it is it's the thing you talk to and say, "Hey, Google." So a lot of people don't know that that's called Google Assistant. But it's effectively when you say, "Hey Google" to your phone, or "Hey Google" to your Nest, or "Hey Google" to your home device, or any of those. That's what Google Home is. So let me pull up this video and we can show a little bit about what happened. The top 11 Google Assistant announcements. They were out there. Okay, one sec.
We made it through another I/O, and what an exciting year it was. Let's take a look at some of the highlights and new product announcements for App Actions, Conversational Actions, and Smart Home Actions. We've got a lot of new updates coming with Android 12. First, we're releasing a new beta API to help with integrating your app actions into Android more easily.
I'm excited to introduce Capabilities, a new framework API that lets you declare support for your common and vertical intents. You can describe parameterized Android intents, which you then map to user query semantics via the Assistant built-in intent catalog. Whew, that's a mouthful. Honestly, it's much easier to do than to say. Capabilities API provides an Android-friendly way of declaring the built-in intents your app supports. It's available in beta starting today.
Widgets are also getting some upgrades thanks to the Capabilities API, allowing you to build widgets for mobile and automatically leverage these widgets onto other Assistant-enabled surfaces on Android.
We're making it easier for users to use widgets across all sorts of new surfaces. Widgets will be accessible via voice with Google Assistant on mobile, lock screen, and Android Auto. Once built on mobile, widgets will be available on other surfaces automatically and accessible to users while driving in a safe and optimized way. The integration with Assistant enables multi-step interactions across all these surfaces with the same widget.
We know that the ability to engage with more users is important. That's why we've introduced some new features to automatically help you feature your action shortcuts more effectively.
Last year, we introduced the ability for users to create personal voice shortcuts into apps with Google Assistant. Now, you can join in the voice shortcuts party. If you build Android shortcuts, they'll automatically be suggested to users in our voice shortcuts gallery, so users can set up a personal voice command that takes advantage of the Android shortcut in your app. To make this possible, you can use our new Shortcuts Jetpack module to push shortcuts whenever users take the corresponding action in your app. Make sure to also connect your shortcuts to the right app capabilities in shortcuts.xml. When you follow these best practices, Google Assistant can suggest relevant shortcuts to users in all sorts of ways and help drive traffic to your app.
We also gave you a sneak peek on the upcoming interactive Canvas APIs for handling natural language processing and text-to-speech in a faster, more efficient manner.
Text-to-speech and natural language understanding, as well as storage, have historically been managed through webhook calls. But this approach can make coordination between the webhook and the client pretty complex, and it also slows down the user experience. We're fixing that. The Canvas API will now allow for client-side TTS, NLU, and storage. This API will be optional for developers to use and will be available soon in a developer preview.
There are also some exciting updates coming to help improve the monetization flow on smart displays for your action.
We're happy to announce upcoming availability of on-device CVC entry on your smart displays, and we'll have on-device credit card entry available soon. Both of these features make on-device transactions much easier and reduce the chance that users will have to be redirected to their mobile devices.
Following closely on the updated smart home policy launch earlier this year, we've continued to push updates to tools like the Test Suite for Smart Home and the Analytics Dashboard to help you build quality integrations.
Umair will show you how you can use Google Smart Home Test Suite to deploy actions that meet our quality guidelines and monitor that quality before and after launch. Our new analytics tools provide insight into how your devices are performing and let you dive deeper to resolve issues.
To additionally help you build high-quality integrations, we are also enabling Bluetooth low-energy seamless setup for all developers.
Seamless setup for BLE devices solves this first impression issue by enabling users to set up their device in a couple of taps directly in the Google Home app, so they can experience your device within seconds with a path to add your app or saving you from building an app with a cloud connection in the first place.
Proactive notifications and follow-up responses to keep users informed about their smart devices can now be implemented for select traits.
Notifications will continue to launch per select traits. We're starting with object detection for devices like cameras and doorbells, run cycle for appliances like washers and dryers, sensor state for sensors that can be around in a home. We also support asynchronous notifications for select traits as well. For example, lock unlock. These types of notifications are great when immediate feedback is needed after performing an action.
We also announced some important updates for supported communication protocols for smart cameras.
To support a better user experience, we are now adding the support for WebRTC for camera devices. This one is a super exciting feature. Now our users can have the best-in-class streaming experience on Nest Hub and on their phones over WebRTC. WebRTC is an HTML5 specification that you can use to add real-time media communication between a Nest Hub and your camera.
Enterprise developers can also now launch integrations with Nest devices through the Device Access Console.
The Device Access Console provides the documentation and tools to enable partners to develop, test, and launch their integrations with Nest devices. This program isn't only for enterprise-level partners, it is also for the developer community that are looking to create solutions within a private environment. Developers can experience the full set of features of this program within a sandbox without needing the added requirement of doing a security assessment on a yearly basis.
And finally, we've got some exciting updates for the upcoming Matter launch, formerly known as Project Chip.
We're proud to announce that we will be certifying existing Nest devices with Matter when the standard is formally launched. That means when you build devices with Matter, they can be easily set up with the Google Home app and controlled by millions of users already using Google speakers and displays, Google Assistant, and Android Power controls. Plus, the newest Nest thermostat will get updated to support Matter, meaning for the first time it can be controlled on other platforms that have certified with Matter.
We also have a couple new code labs, as well as technical demo videos to help you build out your actions. Check out the docs and code labs linked in the description below to get started using these new tools and capabilities for your actions. And let us know what you're building on Reddit or on Twitter. Thanks for watching.